Okay, so I did a 202. I seen 202. So I just had to figure out what. So this is one of my things today. It says 202 in Hebrews and Greek often points towards appointed time, order, or seasonal change. A rhythm between waiting and walking in faith. So God's been really working on me that, a lot of people that I'm around only believe if they can see. And that's not how. Oh crap. That's not how faith works. Faith works. You gotta believe what you're unable to see and understand sometimes. And some people aren't okay with that. Me, on the other hand, I do believe in what I can't see, because believe me, it's there just as much as the next one, I picked up 2 lottery tickets. I wonder if they're probably not. They're probably bad. Watch that shit. Anyways, I'm not on that right now. Okay, so spirituality, balance, unity, witness. 0 is God, infinite presence. Repeated, it becomes a reminder that every season, good or bad, still sits in divine order. Okay, the focus. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. Galatians 6:9. It says, let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Okay, so my thought. Okay, so life moves in cycles: growth, loss, rest, renewal. And 202 reminds us that order is not control. God arranges time with purpose, even when it feels scattered. We only get one life, but we live in it many seasons. The test is not how fast we move, but how faithfully we stay focused when the wind shifts. Okay, what seasons am I resting in right now? I know, like a lot of people, I'm around 2:42 on the clock. I know a lot of people that I know, they don't believe without seeing. And I think that's tough for me, because everything in my life has been questionable all my life. So there's not a time that I haven't had not to be able to rely on the things being chaos, crazy, and not have to believe that God's going to bring me out on the other side. You know what I mean? So, and then it says, what lesson might God be repeating for me to finally hear? That honestly, that if we continue to try to walk only by sight and not by faith, that we are going to be stuck in a vicious cycle, because we're going to become where we are irritated at God, and we hold resentment because of the fact that when it still doesn't get good and it looks like it should be, like, you're going to get mad, you're going to be resentful, which is to be expected, but it's not how God asks us to have faith in. So, and I understand maybe a little bit where, like, normal people, like, their life, goes along, and they don't have to live in chaos and learn the lessons that I do. But, so I guess that walk with God and trying to learn to believe, would be a little bit more difficult. It says, how can I serve while I wait for what's next? I think for me would be, to keep walking it out and to continue to have faith in what is going on, because God's got it. And He proves that. And He says to me that all the time. But to always have a pure heart and not be out doing crazy chaos just because, you know, you're trying to come up. That's not how it goes, you know. Like, you gotta have faith that he's gonna provide. You gotta have faith that he's going to show up for you no matter how it is, you know. And that's where I just keep having faith. Like, God's not gonna let us fall. If he brings us to that point, he's gonna continue, and he'll meet us right where we're at. So, okay, it says, I honor the seasons I'm in. I trust God's timing. My purpose ripens right on schedule. Even though you don't know what your purpose is, you gotta have faith and believe that God's gonna help order your steps. And as long as you take the steps with his direction, and at, you know, the time he says step, you will get in that direction. And even if you miss it, he says he'll always give us a way out. You gotta have faith in that. 5 o'clock. It says, let the music become prayer instead of background noise. So if you like listen to affirmation, worship music, I love listening to worship music. I love worshiping. It really does heal you. Have each person name their current season: healing, rebuilding, pruning, sowing. Then have them share one small act of obedience that they'll take this week to align with that season. So there's your guys' homework for the week, or whatever, you know, or for today. It says, oh shoot, oh, that's it, okay. But that was off of 202. So, for your daily devotion from here, that's it. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys listening and tuning in and pushing on with me. And I appreciate you guys all very much. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. 7:07 on the clock.